And really, I guess what we're trying to do is in a clinical environment, have a look at the application of VR. And Trent kind of gave you the idea earlier on that that's been a slow process from his point of view and from Joseph's point of view. And we do work in a very different way, partly because we're working with very precious and vulnerable children. So whatever we do, we have to make sure that we have a good reason for doing it. And just to give you an example of the first project that we started, we wanted to really see whether VR had an impact on children's wellbeing who were undergoing active cancer treatment. So these are children who will be visiting the hospital very regularly, maybe staying for days, weeks or months in hospital, and we know the psychological impacts of that, how children can feel quite low in their mood, they can become quite irritable, they lose a lot of their social supports and contacts. So we wanted to have a look at whether VR could give them an experience that could take them outside their hospital room and give them perhaps a real sense of being back in the community. We have another study with really being led by our colleagues at Peter MacCallum Hospital. And so children, particularly children who have brain tumours, often need to undergo radiation therapy, which is a very daunting process. They have to go and have a mask made on their face or on their body. They have to lie in a machine that is very intimidating and very frightening if you're a young child. So PHORIA, together particularly with the staff at Peter Mac, have developed a VR experience where we can actually, I guess, give these children a simulation experience. So what it will look like if they, before they go and have that mask made, and what it will look like when they go in that radiation scanner. So this is a really exciting project for us, and we've got Nigel here who's been leading it, and it's really being led by clinical staff at the Peter MacCallum, along with some fabulous research assistants that I have. And what we're doing is, again, measuring children's anxiety, measuring parents' anxiety, who are also incredibly anxious when their children are going to have radiation therapy. And what we're finding is when we show them the VR experience, the children are coming out, are then able to give us a much, much clearer idea of what's going to happen to them. So they go from maybe after seeing the doctor being able to say one or two words of what's going to happen, the VR experience, and they can tell us literally blow by blow what's going to happen. And for some children, that could be a daily general anaesthetic for up to 6 weeks. This is really not a small thing, and this is something that we would love to be able to avoid doing. So this project really has the potential to, even if we get a few children that don't have to have a general anaesthetic or don't have to have a daily general anaesthetic, that is a huge outcome for us. It's also a huge outcome for our hospital executives because the cost of that is about $30,000 per child. So you can sort of see the stakes here can get really, really high, can really be effective. And so we're really excited to be kind of in this space. I think it's not a natural space for me, that's for sure, but we're really appreciating what this technology can do. And just by way of giving you a bit of anecdotal evidence, we have had 17 children go through radiation therapy, and touch wood, none of them have needed a GA at this stage. So we are hopeful that we are really making a difference to those children. So that's just to give you a little bit of idea of the context that we're using. We're partnering with PHORIA and VR, but I think it's just really a beginning of looking at this technology, and obviously I need to be looking at augmented reality and whatever the other thing is as well. I don't Trent will just tell me what I should be looking at. But you know, clearly there is huge possibilities here, and I think if we can, you know, it sounds a little bit cliche, but I think if we can help some of our most vulnerable children, it is a mark of a civilised society, and it's not just about gaming, it's about how can we do good here, and hopefully we're on our way to doing that. So thank you.